people appreciate the most about you and your ability to teach is teaching that connection, and how that has translated into some of your other work, such as coaching and being able to help people get over rejection and establishing connection. So just tell me a little bit more about that, because I think that's a really interesting thing that applies to all facets of life, not just dance.
For sure. So salsa, one of the things that I learned from it was, of course, there's a lot of moves that we learn. You know, there's tons of things that you kind of have to understand about the dance, with the timing, with the music, with the steps, with what the follower is supposed to do when certain things happen, and how the leader is supposed to execute those moves. But what I found actually was, it's when you focus on that connection with somebody that you truly become a good lead and you truly become a good follower. And the connection to me is really a matter of having a conversation, a nonverbal conversation. So there is an element of listening and there is an element of speaking. And a good conversation requires both parties to listen and both parties to want to speak. So not just speaking for the sake of saying something and making a noise coming out of your mouth, but to actually have something meaningful to say. And for both parties to be able to adjust what they are about to say based on what they just heard, versus just having a script and saying, this is what I'm going to go through. And so that connection aspect of it with salsa on the dance floor is something that I started to see how I could apply that to everything else. So when it comes to public speaking, it's the same concept. I do have an idea of what I want to go out and say. I have an idea of the message I want to give. It's often transformed as I go, just because of the feedback that I'm getting from people. Same thing when it comes to teaching. There are teachers who will go out there and they will just teach. They have something in their mind that they want to put out there, and they'll just go through that. And it doesn't really matter when there are faces of students that look confused or distressed. They'll just go right over it. Whereas for me, I'll take that feedback and see how I can adapt what I'm teaching. And then bringing it back to the dance is the same idea. Of course, there are things that I want to do. There's the music I want to play with. There are certain moves that I want to do, but it's always going to depend on what my partner is giving back to me. And then I'll play off of that. And so that ability and that mindset of really taking in the information that you're getting and working with it instead of ignoring it and sticking to your script is what I believe helps me become a better teacher and a better communicator.